Hi, Ginger here. Today we're going to talk about time words and verb tenses so that you can get ready to edit your writing test next week. Two things you have to do before you edit are to highlight your time phrases and your verbs, all your verbs in your writing test paragraphs. So I'm going to teach you a little bit more about how to find your verbs. We're going to use the finished document that you've already sent me. So if you haven't sent it yet, uh, underline or highlight the time phrases first, and then find the verbs in the document that I attached in an email, and then send it to me so that I can see how you're doing. Okay, here we go. This is a Wikipedia bio of Bono, who is the lead singer in the band U2, who was very famous and still is famous if you're my age. Okay, so the first little paragraph up here, we can read it. Paul David Hewson, known by his stage name Bono, is an Irish singer-songwriter, activist, and philanthropist. He is the lead vocalist and primary lyricist of the rock band U2. All right, so we've got two sentences there. Here's the first one starting with Paul. Here's the second one starting with he. Those are the subjects of these sentences. And where's the verb? Well, the actual verbs you may see, they're very tiny to be verbs. If you change this to the past, like after Paul David Hewson passes away, we will use the past tense and we will say, Paul David Hewson was an Irish singer-songwriter. He was the lead vocalist and primary lyricist. So in the words that change are the true verbs. So those are the ones you want to highlight and check for tense. All right, in this case, there are two be verbs, right? The be verb. And they're used to show facts, and the is function like equal signs, right? Name equals songwriter. Name equals vocalist. So it's explaining what the person does and what the person is. So that's a simple little verb to use. Okay, no time words yet. Okay, here's the second paragraph. We went through and found in 1976, soon, frequently, and during U2's early years. Those are the time phrases I found. How about you? Did you find those? Did you find different ones? I can't wait to see your paper. All right, and now we have to find the verbs. So we're going to try to see if we can't change. Here it looks like the beginning sentences are in the past, so let's put it in the present and see if we can't find the verbs. Born and raised in Dublin, he attends Mount Temple, right? So attended would change to attends in the present. So there's one of the verbs. Where in 1976 he began dating, so there's began. Began would change to begins. And don't be fooled by dating. That's a gerund, dating and forming. Those are the two gerunds in parallel structure. And the only two verbs in this sentence, even though it's a quite complicated sentence, are attended, began, and became. Those are three verbs in a very long sentence. Very fancy. Up here, born and raised in Dublin, that is a collapse, could be considered a collapsed adjective clause or just a collapsed sentence. He was born and raised in Dublin. No subject, no verb. So it's attached here as a sentence starter. And the person who was born and raised should be the same as this subject right there. And so that's Bono, that's him. So he works for born and raised. But it's not the verb, huh? Those are past participles. Alrighty. Let's see. Here's an adjective clause at the end. The band that became U2. That became you too is modifying the band. That's taking the place of the subject, so there's no subject in the adjective clause. We could think of this subordinator as functioning as the subject. Okay, complicated, huh? Next sentence, Bono soon established. So we're still in the past. Soon established, back in time. And that's it for that one sentence right there. One verb, right? There aren't a lot of verbs in writing. The higher the level, the fewer the verbs. So try not to highlight everything that looks like a verb. Just highlight the things that change when you change the time of the sentence. Alrighty, speaking of changing in time, here's the word frequently. And you know from our textbook that frequently is used for the present tense. It talks about something that happens over and over. It's a habit, so present tense works well. And we've switched from past to present. His lyrics frequently include. All right, there's the verb, include. Now, next sentence down is during the U2 years. Oh, so are we back in the past? Bono's lyrics contributed. Yes, past tense, contributed. As the band matured, there's another past tense verb, his lyrics became inspired more by personal experiences shared with other members. Okay, nice sentence structure, huh? Again, there is a collapsed adjective clause. That word is taken out and it's just shared, not a verb. As a member of U2, Bono has received 22 Grammys and has been inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Those are present perfect, passive voice. Wow, so complicated. If you don't know this, that's okay. I just want to show you what the verbs are in this passage. All right, I'm going to let you look at this paragraph right here. I think I'm going to try to drop out of this view. Am I out? Maybe. Anyway, I want you to check the rest and see if it matches up to how you marked. 3 different time phrases. They're all 3 years. And the verbs is, co-founded, has participated, blah, 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 blah. You can see them. Okay, you check. Alrighty. So the final questions are thinking about verbs and how they function, like why we have them, and how many are there when you're going to edit your own writing. So compared to other word forms, what percentage are verbs? And what do you think, about 10%? Maybe 10% of the words? We could count the words, and then we could count the verbs, and we could compare them, but it looks like 10-15% to me. If you want to count them, go ahead. And then finally, how do time phrases function? Are we moving from a present perfect passive to the past passive and back to the present perfect here? So these time phrases put you back into the past, and as they should. And actually, I was hoping for some sort of time phrase up here to start with, to give us the sense of how the paragraph is starting, what time frame, but we didn't get one. We did get this lovely transition. Aside from its music, comma, that's a transition from the paragraph about music to the paragraph about his activism and his causes that he fights for. Okay, so now that you've done that, you get to listen to the video. Keep going, follow the list of to-dos in the email that I sent you. Okay, you guys, that's it for today. Bye-bye.